How you doing, team? This is Jimmy Williams, your master mentor coach. And to some of you, some of you guys even mentor me, if you've been in this game a long time, and I'm talking about in the areas of real estate and personal development. But many of you are my students, some of you are my colleagues. But I just want to say greetings to you. And I always start off the conversation by saying congratulations on your success. Our team is going through the roof, man. I mean, we are exploding, okay? We're almost at, 12,400 members. Kudos to you guys. Without you, we wouldn't have a team. We wouldn't have, none of the stuff that you see developing now. It's because of you guys that we're having this kind of growth and development, okay? So again, congratulations on all of your success. And to you and your families, I pray that you continuously grow and develop your mindset so you can grow your income and grow your sphere of influence and be able to bless the lives of many others around the world. And you'll be able to sleep better at night because of that. Trust me on that one. So I came on here today. As you can see, I'm sitting up here, I've got my board back here, and I'm creating tons of content for some of the other platforms I'm on now. I'm on Skillshare now and Udemy.com. And so, we're pretty much expanding. We're going to be launching a affiliate program on ClickBank real soon. So if you guys are my paid members only group, you guys know about that. You're going to be able to be an affiliate. You can promote my JW Academy worldwide and make huge commissions on that. So we got a lot of things working in the studio and behind the scenes that you don't know about. But I want to bring your attention to something very, very critical and important today. Okay, I think it's going to transform your life. It's going to revolutionize did I say that right? It's going to revolutionize your thinking and your productivity. Okay, it's going to help you focus in on how you can be more effective as a business owner first, and then as a real estate investor and wholesaler. Whatever you decide you want to do, it's going to help you get more productivity out of it and accomplish more in a shorter period of time. I've got to put that out there because we don't want to be 80 years old, trying to really break into who we really are. Now, you start where you start. If you're 80 years old and you find out what you're called to do and you start moving in those things, you begin to develop, who cares, right? At least you do it while you're alive. And that's very important that you find it. But again, the purpose of having a mentor and a coach, because I have many of them myself, is to help me get there in a shorter span of time. So I can do it while I'm a little bit younger, enjoy life, and I can begin to share these things and impart them to other people around the world and to you guys who are watching me, because I want you to get there faster so you can give back to your communities, to your families, to the people who you love and who are more important to you. But if you don't grow, then you can't impart and give to anyone. You can't give what you don't have, right? So the reason, I want to give you the top 30 reasons, okay? If you guys are reading, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm going to give you 30 reasons why 95% of the people on the planet, 95 to 97% of them, never really succeed at what they're called to do. All right, and that's a high number. So that means anywhere from 3 to 5% of the other people that remain are the ones that discover, the reasons why they're not prospering and succeeding, and they take care of those things and they get rid of them out of their life and they find their destiny. Okay, so if you take this seriously, I'm going to recommend you take a minute, stop what you're doing, get a pen and a piece of paper, and write down everything that I'm going to be talking about today. And if you wait until the end, and I'm going to ask a certain question at the end, and I'm going to give a cash prize and a free vacation to those of you. The first person that comes back to me and answers my question that I'm going to give you at the end of this meeting, I'm going to send you a cash gift, probably Cash App or PayPal, and a free vacation, okay? The runner-ups will get a $300 gift card and a hotel savings card, okay? So get locked in, get ready, because we're going to get right into it, all right? Now, again, if you're in the paid group, you know what I'm talking about a little bit more, because I challenge you guys to read, especially if you're at the highest level, the diamond level. And one of the greatest books of all time that I highly recommend you guys in the free group and the paid group that you should read is called Think and Grow Rich. And I'm going to be pulling some information from that book to share with you right now. And that book was written a long, long, long time ago, okay, in the 1930s. All right, it's written by a guy named Napoleon Hill, but the principles still apply today. Those principles are still good today. So they never get old. And I'm going to go over them today. And again, there's 30 reasons why we do not succeed and get to where we're supposed to be. Okay, these are the top 30 reasons people fail. Of course, there's more reasons, but the top 30 that I'm going to go over today, it's going to hit home. And there's one I would call the epitome of why most people fail. It's one of the top reasons that's right behind me. But I'm going to go over that in a little bit, and that's going to be the question I'm going to ask you at the end all over again about what is the top reason people fail in this business. Not just in real estate, but I'm talking about anything that you're doing, whether you're in sports, you're a doctor, lawyer, school teacher, any kind of profession, a construction worker. It doesn't matter what it is. There's one of the main reasons on the planet that people don't really talk about. It's the main reason why they fail at what they're doing. All right, but let's go over the other ones right now. When we get to the main one, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to look at the board and show you on the board what this is. We can discuss that, and then we're going to go over it again at the end. That's when I'm going to ask you the question. Okay, so get a pen and a piece of paper. Let's get right into it. Okay, and I guarantee you, when we're done, you'll have a roadmap on how to succeed the right way. Okay, all right. So let's get started. Reason number one: unfavorable hereditary background. Okay, so basically what he's saying is, it's what you were born with. The Most High gives all of us gifts, but some of us are blessed in certain areas more than others, right? So technically when I say that, what I mean is, everybody's not LeBron James. He has a physical, he's 6'7", 240 pounds, and he's like a freight train, and he's great with the basketball, right? Michael Jordan was 6'6", and was better than, most people say he was the greatest of all time. But how many Michael Jordans do you know on the planet? All right? Albert Einstein, he couldn't sit in the classroom for very long because his brain was constantly moving. He was labeled a genius, right? How many Albert Einsteins you see? Think about that, okay? I mean, I can go on and on about the people who are especially gifted, but then you have some that are not quite as gifted. So hereditarily, the way you're born, the lineage you're born in, the bloodline, and all those things are important. So some people are not as fortunate as others, okay? You have some geniuses now, they by the time they're 5 years old, they've read, 100 books. I read over 400 books in my lifetime, but I'm 44 years old. But then you have some of these guys who are 10 or 15 years old are at my level and above as far as, their intellect. Right? And a lot of it has to do with the lineage in which they were born in. So there's very little you can do about that. Can you grow your mind? Of course you can. But again, what the point is, some people are born with more gifts than others. Okay? Number two, we're already on the top reason people fail, but this is number two, which is the number one reason. It is, listen to this, lack of well-defined purpose in life. I got it up here. I'm going to look so you guys can see. Where's mine? Here it is. Okay, you probably can't see the screen very well, but I'm going to move. The number one reason for failure is a lack of defined purpose. Now, that's number one. Now, that's going to be the question I want you guys to remember. Okay, that's going to be the one I'm going to ask you guys at the end, if you can remember that. It's the number one reason, okay? Why is it so important to have a defined purpose in life, a definite plan of purpose? Well, the problem is when we come out of the womb, we're around, people who, when we grow up and we go to school and all that, the people that love us, they tell us to do the same thing that they're doing in most cases, right? But that may not be the divine purpose and the definite plan of purpose that the Most High has for your life, okay? If you go and do what they say, deep down inside, you're called to do something else and you haven't really found it, you don't know, you haven't discovered it yet, then you can perish for what you don't know. And then when you find that purpose, you have to find, here's the part, when you discover, here's the most important part of that, when you discover what that thing is, now you have to go and you have to figure out a way, how are you going to implement that into this life and into the lives of other people. In other words, it has to be very defined. Goal setting, those things I always tell you guys about. Once you discover what it is, that's just the beginning. Now you have to find out how you're gonna perfect that gift, implement it, and be able to minister and help other people, in what they're doing. So in this case, let's just take real estate. Some of you are not, all of you are not called to do real estate development. There's certain people that have a calling and a niche for going out and finding property and developing that property from scratch. Then you have them that they're awesome at doing fix and flips. You're going to be the most effective in whatever niche you're called to do. And you have to discover it by paying attention to the things. Success, is going to eventually leave clues. Well, your destiny, where you're supposed to be, there's going to be clues in your life. And you have to pay attention to them, okay? But if you don't have a definite plan of purpose, you can go and work on a job for 30 years just trying to survive and take care of your family, and that's not what you're really supposed to be doing. So you end up being a part of the 95% instead of the 5%. I highly recommend that you begin to study the successful habits of successful people. One of the main things they've done is they've all found a way to find out what their major purpose in life is. I'll give you myself, for example. I'm 44 years old, right? And guys, I keep telling you the same story over and over again. I've tried over, 40 different business opportunities over the last 25 years. And I've worked about 50 jobs since the age of 10 years old. I started working when I was about 10. What was it? Yeah, 10, somewhere in there. So 90 different things I tried in the last 3 to 4 years of my time on this earth. I discovered purpose. So now I'm living the purpose-driven life now, and the biggest part of that purpose is you guys. I mean, I get a kick, I get a push out of helping other people succeed, whether it be in real estate or personal development. I get a high on it because, that's what I'm here to, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Now, would I do it for free? Of course I could. If I could live and take care of myself without having to charge for my services, I would do it for free. And that's how I know it's what I'm called to do. However, we have, bills and, those kind of things, a studio and, you know what I mean? I have a wife, guys, if you're married, you got to take care of your wife, right? And some people are single. You got to pay for where you live and those things if you have children. So you have to make a living. But the key is I found purpose in life. And so that means that I don't have to wake up in the morning feeling this void of what am I supposed to be doing? And by default, that's going to give me a higher level of success. When you find your purpose in life, that's ultimately when you find success. You commit to it, you find it, you find a way to communicate that gift to others and help them. And by default, you help them succeed. By default, you succeed. Remember that, okay? That's the number one reason people fail, because they're going to work and they're doing things, they feel in their heart that they have somewhat of a purpose, but they don't know the definite purpose for their life. Find it, discover it. I just told you what I did. I discovered that I love working with people. I've been in real estate for quite a while and in finance since 2010, but discovered that my calling is to help people just like you all over the world to discover who they are and to help them in the niche of real estate, buying and selling property, help them fix and show them how to, teach them about fix and flip, teaching them about, real estate development and, REOs, all those. I love that kind of conversation. And I have a knack for it. I don't get tired of talking about it. And I love to impart that to, to my students, and in fact, I even share with other colleagues, and I still get mentorship just like you do. But it's very important to discover that when you find it, you have to grab a hold of it. Don't waste any time, because time keeps ticking. Money you can always get back, but time you can't. All right? So remember what I just said. Number 3, a lack of ambition and you are mediocre. Okay, most people don't want to hear me talk like that. All right, let me say it this way. You dare not to aim above the mediocrity. In other words, if it's normal, if it's in the norm and everybody's talking, everybody's doing it, that's where you are. You have to have that ambition level to say, you know what, if 95% of the people are going this way with mediocrity, I'm going to take a step of faith. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to find out what's over here. And the people that succeed do that. They go the opposite of the grain. That's why when you're around family members, sometimes if you start talking about you're going to do great things and you're going to change the world, and you start talking like, a revolution like Dr. Martin Luther King, he had a dream one day that blacks and whites would come together, black girls and black boys would hold hands, and that was ludicrous. That was crazy talk, right? But it was revolutionary. That's what made him different than all the other Baptist preachers. There was millions of what we would call men of God, right? Because I'm a minister myself, preachers of the gospel, but very few of them stuck out like Dr. King with like a sore thumb. He wanted to change the entire world, right? Many others. These are the things I'm talking about. So he dared himself to think above the mediocrity. And if you're going to be great at anything, You have to think above the mediocrity, especially in real estate, because you have so many people that are coming in, as you can see in these Facebook groups. You probably have 5 to 10 million, wholesalers that are posing to be someone else, and they're trying to be like the other wholesaler, and they wouldn't dare to separate themselves from their competition. They won't do that. Okay? So that's what you have to think about. Number 4, insufficient education. Now, I'm not talking about going to school to get a regular education. I'm talking about being educated on what your gift is, or on your craft. In other words, if you want to be a block mason, you need to know everything there is about being a block mason, about laying blocks and laying the foundation when you're building a house. You need to get the proper education on it. And most people who really have great education in their niche are self-educated. They're self-taught. I keep telling you guys, Google and YouTube are your best friends right now. If you want to know how to put a table together, or how to take a laptop apart and put it back together again, right? You can just Google it or YouTube it and you can figure it out. But my point is, you have to hone in on your craft and get all the education that's going to help you be successful with that craft. All of that education is important. College may not do it. College is not going to teach you specifically how to be financially secured, and it's not going to teach you that. They're not going to teach you that unless you go to a business school like Wharton, right? But then there's limitations as to what they can teach you, so you have to pick up books and read. Leaders are readers. Okay, I told you I read over 400 books, and I'm still reading today. You have to continuously grow your mind, or you're going to work your behind, okay? So proper education on what you're good at, all right? Michael Jordan, as great as he is, he studied the game. He studied the greats that were before him, He said he wanted to be great, he wanted to step up his game above Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. They were in the league before him, and by the time he got there, they had already won multiple championships, right? But he studied their game, their moves, and how they did things. He became a student of the game. That's my point. And he mastered himself first. The biggest person you'll have to master in doing any kind of business is yourself, no matter what you're doing, all right? So proper education is key. Number 5, lack of self-discipline. Now, guys, I've been struggling with this one probably the last year. I mean, you see me guys work like a racehorse. I'm working 15 hours a day, but I went from not working as hard to working almost sometimes too hard, not having a balance. So now I'm having to draw back to have a proper balance with my discipline, my wife and I. But a lack of self-discipline is a major reason people fail, because some of them don't know when to stop, and some of them are not consistent enough. They have the inconsistency. I can't tell you, 9 months ago when I started this Facebook group that you guys are looking at right now, if you're in the paid group, it's only been a couple of months, but the free group, I had it 9 months ago, and I had a whole different group of wholesalers that I was working with. Do you know I haven't seen but maybe 2 or 3 of them that are still around online right now. Most of them, the other ones quit. They caved in. They lack the discipline to stay consistent. It's critical, okay? Number 6, ill health. It is true, okay? You are what you eat, and when you eat something, you feel a certain way, and it's going to produce a certain energy about you when you're working, when you're working and you're doing things, you're doing your due diligence during the day, you're trying to get deals done, you're trying to make phone calls. But if you don't eat good and eat healthy, it affects your brain, okay? Too much sugar in the body, when that stuff breaks down in the body, it sends a certain message, and all of a sudden you want to go to sleep, right? You are what you eat, and over a period of time, if you keep eating bad, it doesn't just destroy your insides, but it destroys your mentality, how you think overall. So ill health, is not good. In fact, I don't want to go out and make millions of dollars and not be able to enjoy it because I'm always sick. The health part is a real big reason of the prosperity. It really is. I like being healthy when I'm working. All right, you feel revitalized. You feel like the energy. You feel so great about yourself when you feel good in your body physically, and your mindset and all these things are working together. You can produce more in 5 years of health than in 50 years and you're not healthy. Okay, you can if you can stay healthy for 5 or 10 years, you can produce a whole generation worth of legacy. For generations to come, if you could stay healthy 5 to 10 years. Okay, then if you're always sick, you're always eating the wrong things all the time, you're always depressed. And depression is, let me tell you, depression can come when people speak negative to you. one of the main reasons one of the main ways it comes in is through what you're eating. And if you're depressed all the time, you just don't have the productivity. You just don't feel it, and you just cannot reproduce what's not in you. It's the same thing with mentoring. You can't go mentoring other people something that's not there. Well, if you eat bad, it's the same thing. Good is not going to come out if you're always depressed. It just doesn't work that way. All right. Number 7, unfavorable environment through your community. Basically, if you're in a bad community as a child. All right. Now I'm going to speak for a minute for the black community. All right. And I can do that. I have all types of students, black, white, people from overseas, but specifically I'm going to talk about the black community right now. We have had a history of having bad communities, for whatever the reasons are, and there's several reasons I won't get into. But as a black man, I'm learning that I have to take full responsibility and decide not to be with the status quo and not to become a statistic, not to become a stereotype. I don't have to go out there in the street and do what television and what people say that we are supposed to do. No, we take the bull by the horns and we say, no, I take control of my life. No matter what the area is, I can do better. Now, here's the problem with what I just told you. Most black men don't know that. They just grow up and say, you know what? This is my circumstance. This is what I'm going to succumb to. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell drugs because there's no jobs in the community, right? I'm going to kill and I'm going to, do all the things. I'm going to smuggle and all those things that happen in the community. I'm going to join a gang because the television tells me I have to do that. People are saying that's all I have. That's all I see around me, right? 95% of them do that. The other 5% say, you know what? That's not my life. Let me give you some good examples. The guy who just died, his name is Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle came up in a very bad area, Crenshaw, Los Angeles, one of those areas. And he made it out of the hood, right? Became a rapper, started making tons of money, took his money, very smart. He had a techie mind. I mean, this guy was futuristic, right? Took his money, put it back in the community, into the black community, began to build, shopping malls and plazas and things like that, and began to invest back into his community. He overcame it. But for one black man that does it, maybe the 9 or 10 say they can't do it. LeBron James, he grew up in a rough area in Akron, Ohio, right? Best basketball player on the planet. Well, they're saying there's some new guys on the block now, but for many years, he's the best ball player on the planet. Came right out of high school, went to the NBA and dominated for the last 16, 17 years from the hood. So if you can't come out of that, one of the reasons you would fail, and this is just all people, I'm going back to all people now because white men have certain circumstances, Asian men have certain circumstances that can hinder them. They can grow up in a single home because, that can happen to any race of people, right? Someone can die or a single mother or something like that. A husband or wife can pass away and they have it's just one parent in the home and there's 8 kids, and that environment can make them or break them sometimes. But it's one of the main reasons people fail because of that influence. Okay. Number 8, procrastination. I started to put this one to be the number one, but procrastination and the one I have here, it's pretty close. But procrastination, you're better off trying something and failing today. Try it now, fail today, than to say, I'm going to wait until tomorrow to try it and it fails anyway. Or it's better to try something and fail over and over again to keep putting it off and waiting for the right time, and the right time never comes. Trust me with real estate. Trust me when you're trying to start any kind of corporation or business. It's never going to be a right time. Am I a firm believer in times and seasons? Of course I am. But it's not an excuse to procrastinate and sit around and do nothing. You're better off trying and failing than to sit there doing nothing. If you fail 100 times, it takes you one step closer to your success. But if you hold off and you never fail, and you wait 30 years, you get out there and you fail your first time, more than likely you're going to quit, right? You're going to go back and hibernate again and say, this doesn't work. Well, you fail your way to your success by actually doing something. It's going to alter your future. Stay away from procrastination. Stay away from it. Number 9, lack of persistence. Lack of persistence. That's what I was talking a little bit more about, consistency. You guys want to make $1 million a year in real estate, and you go for 30 days and you put in one contract. Come on now. If you want to make $100,000 per year as a wholesaler, you need to put in, let's say in a 12-month period, that's $8,000 per month. To make $8,000 per month as a wholesaler, you need to be putting in at least 15 to 20 deals per month, because 70 to 80% of them are going to fail. The other 20% is where you make your money. Let's say you put in 10 deals a month, you get 1 to 2 to go. And let's say the average pay you're going to get is $2,000. So if you put in 10 deals a month, 1 deal is $2,000, 2 deals is $4,000. So you want to make $8,000, you need to double it and put in 20 deals a month. So you get 2 to 4 deals done per month. That's $100,000 a year. If you want to make $1 million a year, you need to build yourself a conglomerate where you have 10 wholesalers on your team doing what you're doing. That's what you got to do. You got to get a team of wholesalers that are ready to hustle. 10 of you guys, and you're doing 2 to 4 deals a month, which is going to make you $80,000 to $100,000 a month, somewhere in there, by $80,000 a month, which is $1 million a year business almost. That's what you got to do, guys, and you split the profits with them, and everybody's happy. But you have to become a leader to do that. You have to build a team, and I talk about that in one of my modules about building a strong team. Okay, but you have to be persistent. You can't be in 1 week and out the next week. You have to do it over and over again. I talked about that as well in another video. Successful people do things over and over again. They cut out the things that are negative, that don't belong, and they're constantly modifying things, but they stay consistent with something long enough to see the results come in. Don't tell me you want to be a millionaire and you won't put in 10 hours a week in your spare time and work it over a period of 18 to 24 to 36 months. It's not going to happen. Don't expect success that way, okay? Number 10, negative personality. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. I work with a ton of wholesalers and realtors, okay? You would be amazed at how many of them that I talk to, and they're supposed to be very positive people. They are the most negative people on the planet. And let me tell you what I think happened. They're still trying to work it like a job. So they're miserable. They hate what they do. They look at it as a job. Now, I'm not telling you you work harder than you do on your job, because this is your business. This is your life. You work harder, right? But entrepreneurs and business owners have a certain mindset. You're serving people. You're not, and one of the rules is you treat people how you want to be treated. So if I'm in business and I want to be a multimillionaire, I need to treat other people that are in my conglomerate the same way, with respect and honor. If they're disrespectful to me, I have to let them go, because I don't want that energy around me. That negative energy, it will pull you down and destroy you from the fabric of your soul. And if you do make $1 million, you're going to hate yourself, and you're going to hate the people who you made it with. So you have to make sure that you have a right mindset toward other people and cut the negative people out of your life. Am I against people cursing and swearing? That's their business. But when they're doing business with me, I don't tell them to stop cursing unless it gets really bad. But I like clean conversation. I do. I like when they do business deals with integrity. All right? And all the complaining and the whining. I don't want to hear all that stuff when I'm working. It pulls you down into this dark place. Negative energy has stolen more deals and has created more depressed people than probably anything else on the planet when it comes to business. Avoid negative people. I don't care if it's family, sons or daughters, sisters or brothers, mom and dad. We love them, we respect them, but you have to draw a line and tell the negativity to stay over there. Say, hey, mom, I love you, but don't call me with all the negative stuff, mom. I'm trying to build a business here. I love you, mom. I respect you, but here's a line. If it's not positive, don't call me. All the wholesalers you're working with, the brokers, they're negative, don't know how to talk, always seeing the cup half empty instead of half full. There's a line. Don't call me. Don't talk to me unless you have something positive to say, something positive to impart, because negative energy is a killer. Number 11, lack of sexual control, or a lack of sexual urges. So, and this is a touchy one for some people. They go, well, what's wrong with sex? Well, in the proper context, sex is good, right? Now, me personally, I am a minister. I believe that one man should be with one woman. I believe that they should be married before they have sex, right? Some people don't believe that. I respect your belief. But in the context of what I'm talking about here, I'm talking about not being able to control yourself. All day long, your mind is consumed with lust, right? Well, what you can do is you can take that same energy of lust, and because lust becomes a negative energy all of a sudden, because it pulls you down, it takes from you, men and women both. Believe it or not, over time, lust never gets fulfilled, and it keeps pulling you down, and it consumes a lot of your time and your mind. It takes from you. So if you can't control it and turn it into a positive thing, that's going to be a big problem for you in the future. All right. So I urge you to have to find a way to take those sexual urges and make something positive out of them. Maybe write it down and say, this is the area that I'm struggling in. How can I take this and put that energy toward building my business? Because before you know it, you'll waste 4 hours in a day. You know what I'm talking about, watching things online and doing things that's not it's not going in the same direction as your life and your business is supposed to be going. It's not conducive to your vision, and it steals from you. So if you can find a way to capture it, take control of it, take control of your mind, and root that thing out of there and control it, and take that energy and push it, thrust it toward helping other people in your business, and you know what I mean? And going back to your vision and laying the foundation with that same energy, you're going to be better off because of it. I guarantee it. Number 12. And here's another big one. A lot of people get mad at me when I say this one. The uncontrolled desire, listen to this, to have something for nothing. I can't tell you how many people, because for a long time I did free mentorship, and if you do sign up for one of my programs, if you get by my Udemy course of $34.99, or if you sign up to become on my paid membership side, I do give a free consultation. So I am about giving away free things, but I've encountered several people that come to me, and they've been with me for several months, but they always get a free vacation. I don't mind giving them. I give them all the time. I give them away over 5,000, but I'm always giving something, and they don't give anything back. They don't pay for anything. So in their life, they want to be a millionaire for free, right? They want all the ideas. They want all the information for free, right? They want to get to the top for free. Now, here's the three things you're going to have to sacrifice: money, time, and I always say attitude. You got to sacrifice a good attitude. If you have a bad attitude, that's going to keep you down in the abyss, okay? But a good attitude, your income, and your time are the main three things you're going to sacrifice. You got to put them out there, out there like it's on an altar, and put them out there to be sacrificed, okay? And if you say, I don't want to do any of those things, you're wasting your time, my time, everybody's time around you, because there's no such thing as something for nothing. But you have so many people. I had one young lady said to me, she's been with me for several months. I've given her several free consultations. She said, Jimmy, I want somebody to sit down with me one-on-one, just like you do with everyone else. I want you to bring me someone who will take me by the hand and coach me on how to do deals one-on-one. Even after I've given her free consultations, I told her she needs to pay for it. She's still in her mind, she wants something for nothing. And I told her, I said, you know what? I have a lot of respect for you, but that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. You got to get that out of your head. Something for nothing. That doesn't even make sense. Okay? Here's a Bible principle for you. The Bible says, as long as the earth remains, it's going to be seed time and harvest time. In other words, whatever you put in the ground is what's going to come out. That principle is true in real estate. It's true in finance. It's true, in corporate America. You even go in corporate America, right? You go in there, you start out as an employee, you're on the phones, you're just taking calls as a customer service rep, and you're in your heart, you set a goal to be the vice president. You do what you're supposed to do. You build, your own work you go to work on time, you leave late, you always, you know what I mean? So you stay extra when they ask you to. You do what you're told to do, right? You come in there, you're innovative, you help the company grow. You work your way up to manager, right? first, manager. Then you go to district manager over 5 years. In the next 10 years, you're like over a whole entire region. 15 years later, you become vice president. Well, you kept sowing seeds, showing the company what you wanted out of this thing, and you grew into that. Well, you had to sacrifice time. I'm sure some money was sacrificed because, when you want to be vice president, sometimes they're going to tell you to drive or fly. Sometimes the company will take care of the expenses, but you got to move around, right? You have to leave your home. You have to bring your own lunch. That's money you have to spend, right? And, of course, you have to have the right attitude to win. Money, time, attitude. And eventually, because of that law of sowing and reaping, you got to that destination. It's the same thing in real estate. You want to be one of the best? Time, money. Listen, time and money. Money you can always get back, time you can't. Attitude, can you lose attitude and get it back? Yes, you can. You can have a bad attitude in one day, but you can change your mindset and get a good attitude again. But out of the three, the main one you can't get back is time, but you're going to need all three to make it. All right? Next one is lack of, now we said this before, but I'm going to put a little twist on it, okay? Lack of well-defined power of decision. So you're not a decision. So here I said finding a divine purpose, and that's the main one that we're shooting for the end. But this one talks about being able to make a decision, indecision. Some people can't decide what they want. You tell them what they want, they go, well, I'm not sure. Maybe I want to be an actor, or maybe I want to be a writer. I'm not quite sure yet, Maybe I want to be a real estate investor. I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking about it. I might want to be a boxer. I'm not sure. Come back to me 2 years from now and I can tell you. Indecision, folks, is your biggest enemy. It's just as bad as procrastination. Okay? You have to decide what you want to do. Again, you're better off deciding on something and failing at it than sitting back and don't decide on nothing, and you're going to fail by default because you didn't try nothing. Okay? One of the first things I do when I get you guys on the phone, I counsel you. If you're in my paid members only group, if you're in my mentorship program, I ask you, I say, well, one of the first things I ask you, I say, guys, in 2 minutes, tell me what it is that you want out of life so I can help you get it. If you don't know what you want, then that's the first thing we have to do. I can't even counsel you if you don't tell me, hey, Jimmy, this is what I want. When you tell me what you want, I can help you get it. But if you don't know what you want, you need to stop and discover it. Stop what you're doing, pray about it, ask the Most High to reveal to you what it is you're supposed to do, and then you make a decision to do it. Indecision keeps you broke. That's all I'm going to say about that one, all right? And it keeps you out of the divine purpose. And the main thing you're supposed to be doing, you can't do it because you won't decide to do it. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? There are 6 basic fears I'm going to talk about. Number 14. Okay? These are the 6 common reasons people fail. This is number 14, but it's 6 of them in here. All right? You ready for them? Fear of poverty. Most of you are already poor. You can have a nice suit. I can be dressed like this. But if I have a poverty mindset, I'm still poor. And my bank account and everything around me is going to reflect it, even though I might be acting like the Joneses. A lot of middle-class people that have good jobs sometimes, they don't realize they still have poverty mindset. They have a school education, they have a decent job, but they're one paycheck from being homeless. And they still have the poverty mindset. So fear of being poor, and it's very ignorant to be poor. It's very ignorant to have the spirit of fear in the area of poverty. Because by default, you're going to live like a poor person if you don't transform your mind. But they have the fear of being poor. And I think when they say that, they're thinking about, being homeless, not having nothing to eat and those kind of things, right? Poverty is a little bit deeper than that. You can have a home and a family and all that and still be poor in the mind. Okay? Fear of poverty, fear of criticism. They don't want people to criticize them. If I told you how many people criticize me for starting this Facebook group, for helping you guys, for offering free stuff, it would blow your mind. Guys, I had one of the top, this is a true story I'm going to tell you. Almost a year ago, when I got kicked out of some other Facebook groups because they were upset and jealous at what I was building a following, one of the most successful real estate investors, coach mentors, found my page and got on my page and was, he jumped on a post and started saying bad things about me. The hardest thing for me to do was to say, you know what? I'm not going to hit back at that. Let him criticize. It was a tough time for me. I let him say what he said and left it alone because I'm not going to go into the negativity. Guys, you're going to see some people that are out there, and they may have more success than you. But if they're criticizing everyone else, I guarantee you it won't last very long. Because again, they're going to reap what they sow, right? This person gave me harsh criticism. And had I not able, now it bothered me, it hurt me on the inside because I wanted to hit back. But I realized I had to rise above it and keep pushing. This is where my lovely wife, she's upstairs. She came in and she said, Jimmy, don't worry about that. You have a group of people out there. You have a certain group of people that are there to help you. You need to go out and reach them. So that criticism didn't stop me, okay? So I said fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of ill health. Some people are afraid they're going to get sick, okay? Fear of of losing someone you love, like a mother or father, something like that. Fear of old age. Guys, I hate to say it, you're going to get old one day, but you're only as old as you think it in your mind, okay? I know a woman right now, she's in South Florida. She's 102 years old. She used to teach school. In fact, she still teaches classes every now and then, 102 years old. And she looks like she's about 70. No excuse for you guys, none. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. That's Napoleon Hill, that's not me, okay? And in her mind, she feels like she's going to be young forever. And if she dies right now, she'll die a happy woman because she didn't have that fear of old age. And here's the last one, fear of death. She's not afraid of dying. Fear of death is a major one that keeps people from succeeding and trying things. We watch every day, planes are falling out of the sky. But what if your destiny was to go over to Egypt, over to London, England, and there was an assignment that had your name on it? But because you're afraid to fly, you won't go over there and find out what it is. Well, that one business still could make you rich, but you won't go there to see you won't participate. Okay, so these 6 fears keep a lot of people out of success, okay? I'm going to go over them one more time. Fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of ill health, fear of loss of someone you love, fear of old age, and fear of death, all right? They must be mastered before you can move on. Number 15, wrong selection in marriage. Now, I'm going to go past this, and I'm not going to stay on this one long, but I can be here all day. You're looking at a man that was married for 12 years before. Do I have anything negative to say about my first wife? No. Okay? I won't say anything negative about it, but I will say this. It was a wrong selection in marriage, and that's why it ended after 12 years. The woman I'm with now, we've been together 10 years. Guys, we have our ups and downs, but I know that she was the right selection. We do things together. We're on the same page, and our businesses are taking off along with our ministries and everything else. But you need to make sure you marry someone who's compatible with your dreams and goals and visions. Don't just marry them because the sex is good or whatever the reasons are. You have to make sure that you guys are a conglomerate, because that's going to be critical in you ascending into what you're supposed to do, male or female, man or woman. I can't tell you how important that is. Take it from a man who's been there, done that. That divorce, even though I knew it was a bad marriage and everything, it felt like a part of me died when I divorced. And it took me forever to recover. But thank the Most High, I did recover with the right wife, and we're going in the same direction. You can't be going this direction, your wife going there, or your husband going here, and you're going here. You're going here and he's here. That's not going to work. Everything you want to achieve and you try, let's say that does happen, he goes in one direction, you're over here, you start succeeding, it's going to pull in your spirit, you're going to look and see him down here, and he's not there with you. It weighs on you guys, and you can't fulfill your purpose the best way, the best way that you can, because there's friction in your relationship. You're not on the same page. It does hamper your productivity. You got to get this, okay? Number 16, overcaution. These are people who are, I got to be careful about that. And I'm not sure about that. And, I don't want to get scammed. Guys, when you wake up in the morning and you get out of the bed, That's a risk. You know, we just had 2 earthquakes in California. Those people woke up, got out of the bed, went on their day, and they were at risk just for living in LA. Pardon me. 6.5, 7, almost 7 points on the Richter scale, right? Just for living in LA. There's planes flying in the sky right now. What if one of them decided to just fall on where I'm sitting here recording? I won't be here, would I? That's a risk. You go to restaurants, you eat. You're not back there when you see those people preparing the food. You don't know what they put in it. That's a risk. You go into school and they're giving you information that they got. That's a risk because you don't know how factual it really is. Even when you go to Google and I say Google is your best friend, but sometimes you don't know the accuracy on the stuff that's on Google. History's been stolen, rewritten, and rewritten again. That's why we call it his story, history, right? There's been so many lies that continue to be perpetrated, and things are changing and truth's coming out. But if you don't go do your own due diligence, you don't know the truth from a lie. So you have to kind of pray and ask for the truth, right? And be led to it. But that's a risk you even take when you hear information, even on the news. Everything's a risk. So to sit back and be overcautious about a business or business deal, oh man, should I work with that guy? I'm not telling you to be a dummy either. If it's an obvious scam artist and you run, you stay away from that guy, right? But you don't run from everybody. Everybody's not a scam artist. Hope you're getting this. That's a method to keep you poor and broke, busted and disgusted. You'll stay working where you're working, hating your job for the next 30 to 40 years. Saying, I can't try that. I'm not going to put my money in that. What you're really saying is you're giving up on you. You're not giving yourself a chance to succeed. That's what you're doing. 17, wrong selection of associates in business. Now, if you guys know something about me, I'll talk to anyone. I'll mentor anyone. I don't care if it's a baby, right? Or an 80-year-old man, a white man or a black man or Chinese. It doesn't matter. I won't associate with everyone, though. I'll mentor and help them, right? But I only hang out and associate with where I want to be in life. I have to be around people that are greater than me. That's a billionaire secret I just gave you. Hang out with the guys and men and women that are where you want to be and above, a higher level than yourself, so you can pull and draw from them. That doesn't mean you're better than the people down here, or in your mind you feel they're less than you. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is you have to train yourself to stay away from mediocrity, even in people. You cannot associate with people that just think like everybody else. They sit back and they just watch the news, or whatever the news says goes. No, you have to associate with people that are where you want to be. Most successful people, unless they have $1 billion with a B in the bank, they're not sitting there watching CNN all day. They're putting their great minds together. They're thinking of things that you have to associate with those people. If you associate with people who are not doing anything, what do you think is going to happen to you? Eventually, you tell me who your 5 closest friends are. I'll tell you what your income is and where you're going. This is a big one. This is a stern warning to you guys that really want to make it. If you're in these Facebook groups and you keep hanging out with the same 4 or 5 Facebook guys or wholesalers, and they're still not direct to seller, they're daisy chaining deals, they're not trainable, teachable, or coachable, they're doing their own thing, and you're hanging out with them, what do you think your results are going to be 5 years from now? If you don't change, you're going to be just like them. Most of the stuff you guys already know, but I'm glad you're getting it. All right? Number 18, superstition and prejudice. Being judgmental. You're looking at something, you're judging it automatically without giving it a chance because of something you were taught. Again, most of this stems from ignorance. It's how we were raised, because I was taught some ignorant things too. I had to go and repent in my mind and get in a book and read and ask the Most High to show me if this is ignorance or not. Because some of us, when we grow up, the excuse is we're young, we don't know better. So if we see somebody who's prejudiced against, black people, or against white people, or against Asian people, or prejudice against, lesbians or gay people, prejudice is, those things get taught to us, right? You may not agree with what everybody does, but being prejudiced is wrong. And if you have that in business, it's going to blind your vision. Things are going to be very blurry for you because you're not going to be able to see clearly. Okay? And superstition, I can't do that because there'll be a hex put on me, or, a curse or something like that. All this superstition stuff that we were taught. You know what I mean? Don't go to that town over there. That town is cursed. Am I a firm believer in being led? If the Most High tells me to go somewhere or to stay away from, I'm going to listen. But I'm not going to automatically be superstitious of people, of animals and things that, of nature, of certain types of people in real estate. I'm not going to put these walls up and say, you know what, I'm not going to deal with women, women realtors. How ignorant is that, guys? Women, you ladies are taking over. You mean you're just like dominating? You have all this, you guys are awesome, right? Men can't do it without women and vice versa. To sit there and say, I'm not going to work with a woman, that's prejudice. That's ignorant. But you'll be amazed at how many people in this business do things like that. Stay away from that attitude, or you're going to keep your pockets broke. And no one is going to want to work with you because after a while, people will begin to see that you're prejudiced, that you're not a good person to work with. Wake up, guys. If you're in a deep sleep, wake up out of it. All right? Number 19, wrong selection of vocation. Again, if you are supposed to be an NBA basketball player and you have the gift, the Most High is giving you the gift. You're 6'8", you're LeBron James, size, and you have, you can handle the ball like Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson, right? And you're sitting here. Now you can learn real estate. You can learn it. But if you're supposed to be doing basketball at a particular point in your life, that's going to help you make $100 million, and you're sitting here trying to do this, you're in the wrong place. All right? If you are supposed to be a doctor or a lawyer, okay, and you say, you know what, that's not, you know it inside because there's a tugging and a pulling, right? And you decide to be a school teacher. It's the wrong vocation because you're not called to do that. You're going to be miserable doing that. Now, I know some school teachers, they love what they do, but they would never attempt to be a doctor or a lawyer. That's not who they are. You have to, if you choose something wrong, it's never too late to change it. But I recommend you take the time and decide now rather than later what you're supposed to do and make the change. Repent in your mind and make the change. Make plans to get out of what you're doing if you're in the wrong vocation. Okay, because again, you don't get time back, okay? Number 20 is 21, pardon me. I'm trying to go up here. The habit of bad spending. Now, my wife and I, believe it or not, we are trying our best to focus on getting better at that one because we had a bad habit of that too. And you know where that comes from? It comes from a poverty mindset. Unless you have residual income coming in where it's not affecting your bills, let's say you're making $50,000 this month, and then you have a residual check coming the next month and the month after and the month after. Even with residual income, and you're a master investor, you got property and all that, you can still have frivolous spending, and because of the way you thought before. Poor people and middle class people have the mindset of, I'm going to do what I want to do and I'm going to save what's left, or I'm going to invest what's left. The rich millionaires, especially billionaires, they have frugal spending, Donald Trump and guys like that, right? Frugal spending, and they take their money and try to turn it over and make more money, and they try to invest it in other places to make it grow. That's more a billionaire mindset. Millionaires, they like the residual income. They spend more, but they spend more because they know they have it coming in every month. But what I'm saying to you is that mindset came from poverty thinking. We go to school, get the job, and you know what? I'm going to go out Friday night. Pardon me. I'm going to drink away half my paycheck. I'm going to pay my bills, and I'll do all the most important things like investing and looking at business opportunities. I'll do that last. You know what I mean? But when you start thinking like a wealthy person, you do those things first. And again, my wife and I, we had to overcome that. We're still overcoming it because we like to go out. Sometimes we like to splurge after a hard week of work. We want to go out and hang out and do some things that are fun. But sometimes it ain't the right time to do them. And you can splurge and have frivolous spending. And before you know it, you done spent $1,000 or $2,000 too much when you could have put that into your advertising for your business, things to make your business grow. Now that money's not there because you spent it. Okay? Lack of enthusiasm, number 22. We're almost done here. Lack of enthusiasm. If you don't have the energy to project on others, it will show. Okay? But the most important person you need to energize, you need to motivate is yourself. Because sometimes you're not going to have cheerleaders that's going to call you and say, hey, Jimmy, keep pushing today. You got it. Now, you guys who know me, who are in my group, that's what I love. I love not just educating you, not just helping you get to the next level, but I love to call you and cheer you up and be your cheerleader and your coach and say, hey, get back in the game. You can do it. But what happens when I don't call? You're going to have to dig deep and find the enthusiasm. How do you find the enthusiasm? Watch what you listen to. If you have negative people talking to you all the time, it's going to kill your enthusiasm. You have to stop this ear up and say, hey, listen, you guys are not positive. Stop talking to me. And then what you do is you listen to, you go to YouTube and pull up some motivational, content. Tony Robbins and people like that. Listen to it over and over again. Get it down in your spirit. So the enthusiasm is always there. Sometimes you got to encourage yourself, man. Sometimes nobody's going to be there to tell you how awesome you are. But you need to be able to look in the mirror and say it to yourself. Lack of enthusiasm is another reason people fail. Intolerance. Okay. Now, intolerance is a touchy subject for some people, okay? Because some people feel like, you know what? I got my own way of doing things. I'm not going to listen to you, Jimmy. I got this. And they close their mind. Now, again, I always say, work your mind or you're going to work your behind, right? I say that. Let me go a little deeper. Transform your mind or you're going to get left behind. Transform your mind, which means you have to keep an open mind, right? You have to keep an open mind or you're going to be left behind. Now, if you stop growing, believe it or not, you're not just standing still, you're digressing. If you're not progressing, you're digressing. You're not just standing still because time and situations and seasons will keep passing. And if your mind stops, you stop feeding it, it starts to digress. The mind is the most powerful tool that we have access to. But if we close it with intolerance and we don't, we're set in our ways, some of the old school people from generations before, it can be an older person who's 80, it can be a 10-year-old kid today. Intolerance can get in your mind and you can just feel that you know it all. That's why you always have to keep an open mind to new things, because when you let newness come in there, new ideas, fresh information coming in, it's going to help you grow as a person. And as you grow, your income and your influence is going to grow. But if you're intolerant, those things are going to stop in your life. You're going to hit you're going to hit a brick wall and you're not going to be able to get past it. Trust me, I've seen people, even in this business that I'm in these last 9 months, people that started with me because they were so set in their ways and so intolerant, thought they knew everything, they quit. And there's nothing I can do because, once they quit, I can't help them, right? Winners never quit, quitters never win, period. You can't add to that, you can't take away from it. It's proven, all right? 24. Intemperance, okay? So no self-control. Is it okay to have a drink? Of course it is. Is it okay to smoke? I don't smoke, but some people smoke. But my point is, if you can't control that, it's going to destroy everything, every foundation you've laid in business. If you're trying to leave an inheritance for your family, you're building a legacy. You have people that depend on you. You can destroy it over bad habits of drinking, smoke, whatever it is. Overindulging in sex, whatever it is. These things kill destiny. They kill your vision. All right? You have to have self-control. How do you practice self-control? Again, you have to continue to renew your mind. If you're struggling in a certain area, go to YouTube, find content that's conducive to helping you overcome that thing that you're battling with, so you can get it under control. It's If I had a poisonous snake on this table and I put the snake under here, I have no reason to kill him because he's contained. Right? But if he gets out and threatens to bite me, I got to find a way to kill him. But as long as he's in here, he's okay. All right? Some of you, now here's the problem with that. If I turn my back, or if I make a mistake and let him out, he can come out here and bite me and kill me, right? Well, a lot of you, you know, you have an issue, and it's almost like you put a Band-Aid over it, or you put the cage over it. It's okay while it's underneath there, right? But some of you can't keep it that way. You can't control this thing, whatever it is under here, and you take the top off and it comes out, and that thing that that's trying to stop you in business eventually kills your business. So you have to find a way to kill it. So I'd rather kill the snake than to just keep him contained, right? Let him come out, kill him, so I don't have to worry about putting it. And that's what you have to do with your mindset. You have to keep yourself. The biggest person you have to control in business is yourself. Okay? You want to kill it. You don't want to just hold it here and contain it for a little while, because you know if the snake is strong and I let it with my hand, he's going to come out of there. Some of you have strong personalities. They have strong bad habits, right? And you need help. So don't try to do it by yourself. Get the help you need. Don't let your attitude, don't let the bad habits keep you from being a multimillionaire so you can help and save, you know, a community of 2,000 people. You can go in a community as a multimillionaire and transform it. But you can't do that when you have the habits that are keeping you down. Before you know it, you're old, and you know, when I say old, time has passed by on you, you know, and you can't recuperate because the time is gone. So get the help now, okay? All right, almost done. Inability, this is number 25, inability to cooperate with others. You can't work with people. Number one rule, I always tell everyone in my group, if you don't like working with people, you need to read some books on how to do that, and or hire people on your team that will deal with other people. That's what you need to do. If you don't do it, hire somebody else to do it, and all is well, okay? But if you don't have either, if you don't know how to get the help, and if you don't get the help to learn how to deal with people, or you don't hire someone, your business is going to stay right there and it's never going to grow. You have to be able to work with others, because I said it before, real estate, let's deal with real estate right now. You're dealing with real contracts, real people, real properties, right? Real title companies, real lending sources. You're going to go to real closings, right? Real estate development, you're going to go, you're going to go see real land there. You got to develop that land. But there's people in every aspect of that you have to meet and talk to. You have to talk to contractors. You have to talk to, realtors. You have to talk to the investors. You have to talk to attorneys. All these people are important. You got to deal with them. Every last one of them you got to work with. Other wholesalers like yourself. The finance company, you got to talk to these people. You got to work with them. You can't be thinking, it's all about what I want, and I'm not gonna talk to anyone. I'm gonna be a millionaire. No, sir, doesn't work. No, ma'am, no, ma'am. You're gonna have to work. You're gonna work your mind and work your mouth, work your hands, because you got to write things. If you don't have people to do it for you, you have to do it yourself. So I'm going to recommend that you read certain books to help you deal with other people and to deal with your tolerance and deal with your attitude. Again, it's always 90 to 95% attitude. The rest of it is skill. Wrong attitude, you ain't going nowhere. Okay? And there's so many people that if you look at their life, when they had a major fall, it was their inability to work with other people. Ego, check your ego, leave it at the door. Okay? Learn from people that know more than you. Whether they're younger than you, who cares? Humble yourself and learn from them. You want to be a tech guru? You go over to Silicon Valley. You're going to see guys that are in their teens that are developing things. Humble yourself, and learn what they're doing. Let them teach you how to do what they're doing. Have your own originality, of course, but learn from them. You'll be fine. Number 26, possession of power that was not acquired through your self-effort. people who are born into wealth. Now, I'm a stern believer that all my spiritual children and my future children, I'm going to leave an inheritance. The Bible says a good man and a woman or a woman is going to leave an inheritance for his children and children's children. So are we to do good things for our family? Of course. However, we can teach them the value of earning $1. Teach them how to work. Like I told you guys, pardon me, my greatest mentor was my master mentor was my grandfather. He had tons of acres of land. You know, this man was powerful, okay? He was a master builder. He was a blacksmith. He was a welder. He was a farmer. He grew his own tobacco. You know what I mean? He had several properties. He was an amazing real estate investor, master mentor. He could cook, had several restaurants. I mean, you name it, he did it, right? He could put down pumps in the ground. I mean, he had a machine he built to go down in the ground and find, water, find living water running in the ground, bring that water up, and, people hired him to put down wells so they can get water to go into their home. You name it, this guy could do it. Amazing intellect with a second grade education. But as soon as I met him at 7 years old, the first thing he did, he said, Jimmy, you're going to go to work with me. I'm going to show you how to work. So I told you guys before, I started working a job at 10, but my first mentorship job, time on a job, was 7 years old. So I've been working now close to, in 3 years, it'll be 40 years I've been working. I'm 44. This man showed me how to make a living, how to go out and do things for myself. So I never took everything that he had for granted. Now, he left me some land. I have about 800 acres of land on my dad's side, but on this grandfather's side, I have about 25 to 30 acres he left me as an inheritance. But guess what? I got my own properties now. I learned real estate and I have my own thing because I didn't take what he said for granted. He taught me how to be a man by working. And people who fail in this business or any business, if they grow up with nothing, with a silver spoon in their mouth, there is a strong possibility they'll lose everything. They're going to fail because they didn't have to put in the hard work for it. And so they don't know how to treat people. They don't know how to do business properly the right way with integrity because it was given to them. Okay, so if that's you out there, you haven't learned anything, your mom and dad had something for you, that's great, they left you something. But watch out for that. Watch out for the pride and the ignorance of, I was born with this is easy, I got it. No, it's not always like that. You got to understand that somebody paid a price for you to have it, and you have to have the attitude to sustain what was given to you. Some people who are self-starters and start from the ground up, when they make it, they tend to stick because they pay the price for it. Okay? Have nothing against rich people that were born into that if they have integrity. But there's a lot of them, according to what he's saying here, they lose everything and they end up failing later on because they haven't understood the power of possessing all of that. All right? They don't know what went with that. They don't know what grandfather and grandma did to get that. We'll give you an example of that. The Hilton Hotel, I'll call him Granddaddy Hilton, the guy who started all that. Paris Hilton's grandfather, I believe. But where's Paris Hilton today? That's not knocking her. I'm just saying, she had all that when she came up and you saw how she acted with that wealth, which he worked so hard to put together and build. And there's Hilton hotels all over the world. But when you think of her in particular, you don't see the correlation. You don't see the connection really because she didn't pay the price to get it. Okay? Number 27. Intentional dishonesty. Now, guys, if you get my modules, my last module I talk about integrity in real estate. There's a right way to do real estate and a wrong way. There's a right way and a wrong way to make money. And if you get what you have being dishonest, it's only a matter of time it's going to blow up in your face. Again, that law of sowing and reaping, right? You may get away with it for 10 or 15, 20 years. But eventually, it's going to catch up with you, and your integrity is the main thing you stand to lose. You can lose everything in business and get it back. But you can't get back time, and it's very hard to rebuild your character and integrity once it's taken. So I'm going to give you a stern warning. Even if you're in my Facebook group, and I know you guys, if you don't want to be honest, if you're trying to do something shady, just for your sake, I don't want to see anything, I don't want to see you one day and it's very bad for you because that's what's going to happen. But please, please, please don't do that. Don't go in there and and scam people in our group, because a lot of these people in our group, most of them are newbies. And newbies, if you're listening to me, my job is to protect you as much as I can. But don't do business dealings with people who have fake accounts. They just come in the group. We're trying to screen everybody, of course, but you can't screen everyone. But don't do business with everyone without somehow screening them. If you have any suspicions, you got to let me know about this stuff, because the only way I can help you is if you let me know. Okay? If you see this on Udemy or somewhere like that, you know, you're not that close to me because you're not in my Facebook group, but be very cautious out there. Be very cautious out there. Take your time, and please, please, please don't joint venture with people who don't have integrity, because their lack of integrity, you know, you become connected to that dishonesty, whatever they're doing that's shady, you become a part of it. You know, you're a partaker of it. And again, once it falls and all goes down, you go down with it, it's hard to get back up to something like that, because, you know, you have to rebuild your reputation. All right? Stay away from that. Stay away from dishonest people, okay? 28, egotism and vanity. You know, the old school way, they say, well, if a man stays in a mirror too long, watching, looks at himself all day long, that's a vain man, right? You expect women to do that, not men, right? That's what they say. But in the business of real estate and in business in general, there are a lot of people, it's all about them, how they look in front of people, you know, how much money they're going to make, you know, how are they going to get on top? So instead of it being about other people, it's about them. Instead of them figuring out how much money the other people are going to make, it's about how much money they're going to make. They're not thinking about how the other people that they're working with, how can they help them get to the top? They want to know how they're going to get on top. They're consumed with self. And it's a big circle. It's a tragedy, because when you get in that circle, you may think that you're doing something great, but it's only great in your eyes. You know, people don't care how much you know. They want to know how much you care. That's not mine. I heard a lot of people say that, but it's true. They don't care about how much I'm telling you. Guys don't care about all this information I'm giving you if I don't really care about you, do you? You want to know that Jimmy cares. And the truth is, I do care. You know why? Because my wife and I don't get a fulfillment by you just watching our content. Our biggest fulfillment is when you take what we say, apply it, and you see great results in your life. Hey, Jimmy, I got a deal done. Hey, Jimmy, I fired my boss last week. Hey, Jimmy, I got $1 million property. I just got it. My residual income is $8,000 per month. I'm a free man or a free woman. Hey, Jimmy, I got $1 million deal done. Put $500,000 in my pocket on this wholesale deal. I can put my 2 kids through college, and I can start that business I wanted to start. When I hear those kind of testimonies and stories, I get really, really excited. I have to turn around and check that out. I get really excited when I hear that. I care about you, okay? Because I know that my business is nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. We need each other, right? But unfortunately, a lot of people are not like that. Stay away from those people that think like that, and deal with yourself. Look in the mirror every day to make sure that you're not that kind of person. The only way to overcome that is, again, grow your mind, grow yourself, read books that teach you how to keep your ego intact. That's what you've got to do. 29, guessing instead of thinking. Now, the name of the book that we're talking about here is Think and Grow Rich, right? There's some of the principles that are taught in the book. Think and grow rich. Now, here's the thing you got to remember. If you don't think, how are you going to grow rich? Don't be ignorant. You don't just guess because you see other people doing it. That's not thinking. Critical thinking. Take it deeper. Take a look at what everybody's doing, and if I tell you right now, 95% of the people are not thinking properly, what are you going to do? The first thing you should do is try to figure out, what are they thinking about? And then you say, you know what, I don't want to think like that. I need to turn over here with the other 5% and think like them. You need to think things through instead of just guessing. Guessing can cost you your life. Guessing can keep you poor another 20 or 30 years. Come on now. You guys, you have to find a way to stay ahead of the game with your thinking. You can think your way to the top. One idea can make you a multi-billionaire. One idea, but you got to think. Get in a quiet room. Get away from everything that you know. you're married, you have a big family, it's not going to be the easiest thing to do because you got to take care of the kids, you got to spend time with the wife or husband, and but respectfully talk to the spouse and say, hey, listen, I need an hour, 30 minutes to get by myself, and I need to think, critically think about the direction we're going in and how I want to be different than the 95% because I want to see different results. But you can't just guess at this thing. It can cost you a fortune. Number 30, last one. Y'all ready for this one? Drum roll. Lack of capital. Now, when I say lack of capital, there are many times that most people, they have a desire to start a business and they don't have the money. Now, it's critical to have the funds because there are times when there's going to be downtime. You know, you're experimenting with your business, you're trying to get it to go to the next level. And if something happens and you know, you end up losing some money or some advertising or, you know, a bad deal goes bad and that's all the income that you have for your business and you don't have it, then you have to end up going back to work. Now, am I against working the 9 to 5 for somebody else? No, I just don't want you to die doing that. But when you're working for someone else, you got to save. And sometimes you save 10 or 20 grand to start a business, but sometimes it may not even be enough. So you have to be very careful with the startup capital that you have. All right. So again, critical thinking is important. You got to think of what to start, what business to start. But when you get that money, that seed money, sometimes it's never enough. So one of the main reasons people fail is because, you know, they may need 100 grand to start a franchise and they only have 50,000. You know, that franchise never got off the ground. So here's what I tell you guys to that. Now that is a true, and Napoleon made it very clear. A lot of people, they have good intentions. They have everything they need. They just don't have the money. Now, here's something I'm going to encourage you with this. I said this the other day in a post. Faith is the currency to get the money. That's why faith is so important. Faith is one of the main reasons people succeed. I just talked about 30 reasons they don't succeed, right? But faith will bring the currency of a good attitude, the money, and if you have faith, you're going to find a way to create the time. Attitude, money, and time. That middle one, money, you start planning things out in your head, do everything else you're supposed to do, write your vision, make it plain, right? Get yourself in position, and because you have the right attitude, right mindset, you never know something's going to happen, something's going to break for you where the money does come. Okay, and when the seed money, the seed capital does come, you'll have the right attitude to hopefully do the right thing with it. But most people fail because they don't have the seed money. Well, you just found a way to get the seed money, right? It's your faith, all right? According to the Bible, faith comes by hearing, hearing by the word of God. That's what it says about when you're trying to get faith for things, you need to read the Bible to figure out how to get faith, right? Depending on if it's for healing, you want to have scriptures on healing, how to heal your body, right? How the Most High will heal the body for you, right? Well, when it comes to money, what do you need to hear about? Or real estate, you need to hear more faith about getting real estate deals done. You need to be listening to people, you know, other wholesalers, other investors. You know, you want to get faith to get that kind of seed money, right? Go find out how they got the money. Faith comes by hearing. And when your faith is built up, then you're prone to act on things and position yourself to get that money. There's several ways to get it, all right? Joint venturing with guys that have the money. There's a lot of things you can do. But in my closing, to overcome all 30 of the bad things you saw there, faith is the first step. It's the first step. Okay, and if you don't understand that, then you can have a whole life of being mediocre, doing something for someone else, never fulfilling what you were supposed to be doing. A lack of fulfillment in life is bad. It's one of the worst ways to leave this planet. You know, I'd rather be 30 years old, which I'm 44. I'd rather be 30 years old, live my life of purpose, than to be 80 and not even find it. And I see that happening a lot of times. Do you know what some of the wealthiest people are right now? They're in the graveyard. They die with their ideas, strategies, and their inventions. They die with them in their heart and in their mind. They never produced them before they died. So they died with all that stuff in the grave. So the richest people probably are already dead. Their ideas die with them. You don't want to be one of those people, okay? So you want to attack these 30 habits with faith. All right. So here's the big question. All right. I'm asking the question again. Who can tell me the top #1 reason for failure? And it's right behind here. All right. Whoever can tell me, send it to me in a message or private message me or write it on the post. You guys are going to get a cash gift. Today is Monday. I'm probably going to give out the cash gift on Wednesday or Thursday because I'm going to give people enough time to respond. And you're going to get a free vacation to go along with it. The people who come, who's not #1, the #2 and #3 people that respond, if you're #2 or #3 to respond past the first person, I'm going to give you guys a $300 hotel savings card and or a dining voucher for $300, okay? That's it. That's all the time I have for today. I hope this really touched you. I hope this put you in a mindset of prosperity to let you know that you can do this. But these are the things that you need to watch out for. I'm going to leave in the post, I'm going to leave all 30 reasons for failure so you can take them and study them and put it in your head so you know exactly what you need to do, okay? Again, this is Jimmy Williams, your master mentor and coach for real estate and for personal development. I will see you guys up here at the top. Have a great day. Bye-bye.